Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Veal Center here at Case Western Reserve University, the home of the Spartans, where the volleyball team is getting set for some action against the Marietta Pioneers. I'm Sarzucci, excited to bring you tonight's broadcast. And we're following a team this year for the Spartans that's been very successful, building off another successful season a year ago. And they're 11-4 to start things off, including 5-1 at home. Their only home loss coming this past weekend, and we'll talk about the success they had in the first UAA round robin of the year. Taking a look at Marietta on the other side, 5-6 on the year, have played just one true road game. Most of their matches this year have been on neutral sites. They've also played just one at home. 1-0 at home, 0-1 on the road, and once again 5-6 overall. Taking a look at their starting lineup, Mia Silva will be a player to watch. She leads this team in kills overall, and then Jillian Fellers, number 1 overall in kills per set. She's played just 39 sets as compared to the 42 that Mia Silva has played. 42 for this team total so far this season. And Jillian's sister, Maggie Fellers, number 15, also with 130 kills and 3.1 kills per set so far this season. Number 2 and 3 on the team, respectively. We'll talk about some stat leaders for the Spartans in a moment. But first, Maggie Fellers, who we just talked about, the senior from Alliance, Ohio, is going to get us started. Marietta in the grays, Case Western Reserve in the whites today. They'll go outside to Callie Wall, and the first ball is dug up by Riley Homan, a junior from Copley, Ohio. There's Lily Crouch in the starting lineup for the Spartans. Here's Rhea Marfatia to push it over. And now Fellers, that's Maggie. She'll go outside to Sophie Evans. And the first point will go to the Spartans. That one's out. We mentioned a couple of those names for the Spartans. Rhea Marfatia has been a key player this season, second on the team in kills and kills per set. And Callie Wall has jumped up third in both categories. Here's Marfatia with the serve. This is Evans once again, and that block is sent back down. Lily Crouch and Emily Goodpaster are there. Crouch in the starting lineup today. No Amanda Ungo for the Spartans. She's inactive. And she's been a key player on the defensive end. She's got 31 block assists and 35 total blocks on the year. Those are both second on the team. So we'll see who's going to fill that role. But right now it's Marietta celebrating after they're finally on the scoreboard. So I'm going to mention Lily Crouch will be involved there. Not on the floor right now, but Jennifer Ungo is also an important player that this Marietta Pioneers team will have to deal with. Again, mentioned her sister, Amanda, out today. And there's a service ace for Sophie Evans, just her third of the year. Actually, it's Kira Shannon who's back there serving. Kira Shannon's a sophomore from Roscoe, Illinois. One of just 2 players on this Marietta team, actually not from Ohio. This one comes on the far side to Jillian Fellers, and it was deflected, so another point for Marietta. Jillian Fellers, a sophomore, 2-year age gap between her and Maggie, as Shannon will keep her serve. Marietta has jumped on top here at the early stages of this one, 3-2. This one is dumped over. Emery Spittler, a nice job, and then coming right back at it on the other side for the Spartans is Carly Scott. There's Alyssa Blessinger, Scott, and now Goodpaster, a little bit too long that time going for the kill. And Marietta takes a 2-point lead, 4-2. So the Spartans this past weekend played a couple of UAA matchups. They're on a 2-game win streak overall after defeating number 10 NYU and then Brandeis. NYU actually dropped in this week's rankings, just came out down to just number 11. And the game before that, the Spartans were defeated by, at the time, 12 WashU. Now have dropped to number 13. They lost 3-0, 3 sets to none, that is, but a closer game than it seemed because it was actually 25-23 in each of those sets. That, again, is the only home loss for the Spartans this year, as this one goes into the rafters and falls back down on that Pioneer side. So the Spartans, just like that, tie things up, as Alyssa Blessinger will have the serve. Returned and blocked back by Callie Wall. Blessinger diving with a right hand, and Goodpaster sends it back over. Spittler, and then it's sent back down by the Spartans. A nice job. Again, missing Amanda Ungo up front, but they've still got Jennifer, and that's important on the defensive end. She's got 16 solo blocks, by far the most on the team, 49 assists, and 65 total blocks on the year. As there's a kill on the other side. Strong play by Jillian Fellers. And there was strong contact with the ball there, and you could hear that loud and clear as she'll go back to take her serve. And it looks like Carly Scott might have made contact with the net that time. And Carly Scott, another key player for the Spartans team on the offensive end of things. Scott has 290 assists on the year and just under 6 per set. And the most on the team in both those categories. Ansley Yamamoto, the other player for the Spartans to watch in that category. She's got just under 5 assists per set. She'll go back and have the serve here. And a Spartan team that received votes for the first time this season in this week's NCAA poll. Got 4 votes, which isn't a lot, but finally working themselves up in terms of getting some national recognition after the work they did against both WashU and NYU. And they'll have a couple more chances in conference play a very tough conference. Emory is the highest ranked team in the UAA, and the Spartans will take them on October 8th. That's next Sunday. They'll play Rochester and Emory in the second UAA round robin. We're still tied up here at 7-7 as Marietta will have the serve with number 10, Emma Wiseman. And on the other side, another first-year Emily Goodpaster. Goodpaster's from Bettendorf, Iowa, and having a good start to her Spartan career. Block back once again, Jennifer Ungo. Jennifer Ungo has been great at that her whole career. This is her 3rd season here. She's a senior. Her first year, of course, wiped out due to the pandemic. And currently comes into this one with 1.2 career blocks per set as the Spartans extend their lead. And that 1.2 mark would absolutely shatter the CWRU program record, which is actually under 1. It's 0.99 blocks per set. Coming back, here's Fellers, and it's sent back the other way, and diving. And Haley Williams, excuse me, that was Riley Homan, was unable to get to it. Marietta's fallen down by 4, 11-7 here in the first set, and we'll have a timeout. We'll take a break and be back with the Spartans on top. So Emily Goodpaster keeps the serve. And diving it, it's Homan to get underneath that. Now Fellers, it's blocked back. That's Jennifer Ungo once again. And Jennifer Ungo having a good start to this one on the defensive end. And coming out of that timeout, it's the Spartans with 2 straight. 13-7 here in the first set. Goodpaster still going. Now setting on the far side for Fellers. And then to Alyssa Blessinger. Now Marfatia. That one's going to be a little bit too long. Too much power that time for a powerful hitter. And Rhea Marfatia, one of the captains on this team. She's a junior from Rochester Hills, Michigan, Detroit area. Alongside Alyssa Blessinger and Jennifer Ungo, that is in her captaincy. Now here is Ungo into the back row. Emery Spittler was there. And now it's pushed over by Evans. Goodpaster gets her hand on it, but not solid contact. That was in a good spot where Goodpaster couldn't quite reach it. And Jennifer Ungo now up to 4 blocks. And she's now put herself in sole possession of 6th place in the all-time CWRU total blocks number. And she's actually over halfway on her way to first place and has played just about half the sets that she needs to get there, as this one is sent right back down on the Marietta side. And they're celebrating once again. And now they've got themselves 3 straight after falling behind 13-7. And a beautiful kill that time. Sent back. This is a Spartan team that is really good offensively. We talk about their block numbers, but offensively, they're amongst the top in all of Division III. 12th in kills per set coming into this one. About 13.5 as Jennifer Ungo will earn herself a service ace. But they're also really good in terms of ball movement. Talk about assists per set. Out just a little bit under 13, which is 10th in all of Division III. But then defensively, they've been great too. I'm gonna say that one was tipped up at the net. And the Spartans are looking around because they're not sure who tipped that. Lily Crouch and Rhea Marfatia, didn't think either of them got a finger on it. But they're gonna give that point to the visitors. So the serve from Mia Silva, junior from Barberton, Ohio, and that one certainly was tipped. And Marfatia will get credit for the kill. Now a stoppage on the floor. And the Spartans will make a couple subs. Callie Wall is back in the game. It's up top with Lily Crouch and Rhea Marfatia. Carly Scott will have the serve. And there's Silva in the back row. Now to Fellers on the far side. Blessinger will set it for Marfatia. And the Fellers sisters block it back down. Jillian and Maggie, a nice job getting on top of that. And they're keeping it within about a 4-point game here as they fell behind by as many as 6. It was 13-7 and now 16-12. A beautiful dig that time from Maggie Feller. Scott will now set for Crouch and we'll get another opportunity, this time for Wall. And she had a nice placement, found the back corner. Fellers this time. Now she'll find the corner on the other side. And that was a nice play. There were no Spartans in the area and a tough spot to find. She went up with one hand a little bit off balance that time, and Marietta will put in Kira Shannon. She'll have the serve off of Goodpaster, and it's going to go into the net for a moment. The Spartans just barely got it up. Let's see what they can make of this play as Scott will go for Goodpaster. Tipped off, and it falls down. Annabelle Hacker was there, and it went off of her hand. And another service ace for the Spartans. (19-13), Alyssa Blessinger has her team on top right now. We'll go back row with this one. Outside Fellers, they're gonna say it was deflected once again. So Marietta will get credit for that. Talked about the Spartans in terms of their national status statistically and then also receiving votes. Their only losses this year, again, they're 11-4, and they've come against some really good teams nationally. As it'll be a service ace on the other side for the Pioneers. That's 2 for them here in the first set. But the Spartans' losses come to now number 13, Wash U, number 25, Ohio Northern, number 7, Calvin, and then Mount Union, who's not ranked but is receiving votes, and there's a nice kill from Mia Silva. Again, mentioned her just at the start of the match, second on this team with over 3 kills per set. Now we have a timeout. The Spartans' lead has been cut down to 3. It's 19-16 in the first set. We have a timeout. We'll be back. (1916) coming out of that timeout, and it's Jillian Fellers who will have the serve. Emily Goodpaster has been on the receiving end of a couple of those. Ungo, this time on the bad side of the block, and it's sent back by Annabelle Hacker. She's a first-year middle blocker from Centerville, Ohio, and makes a big play that time for the Pioneers, a team that's looking for some continued momentum. They're getting closer to tying things up here. They've won their last 2 matches, which is huge for them because they were on a streak of 5 straight losses. They opened the season 3 wins in a row, so it's kind of been a little bit of a roller coaster for them as Scott will set for Ungo. Nice placement in the back line, finding the gap in the Pioneer defense and extending this lead back up to 2. Those last couple matches against Earlham and Denison, and a loss to number 22, Mount St. Joseph. That's for Marietta, and that was a close match despite it being 3-0. The sets were 25-22, 25-20, and 25-18. So they were certainly competitive in that one, as Goodpaster sends it back, and they've been competitive tonight as well. This one nearly fell on the Spartan side. Hacker once again in the middle. Here's Silva trying to drop it over Ungo. Chloe Makievsky also on for the Spartans. This one's off of Jennifer Ungo once again, and showing why she's been so good blocking, and she's been the UAA Athlete of the Week the last 2 weeks in a row, and giving you a good display of why. Again, came into this one nationally 4th in Division III in blocks per set and 5th in total blocks. That one looked like it took a Spartan deflection. So Marietta will get another point for that, 21-19. Continues to remain close. And Jennifer Ungo with 3 total blocks now. And she's got 4 kills as well. But right now it's Marietta who controls things. Emma Wiseman with the serve. Now Ungo goes back row. It's popped up. Wiseman dives, can't get to it. And the Spartans will look to close out this first set. And coming off of 2 straight wins as well. Both these teams are. The Spartans will have the serve with Goodpaster. Now Fellers, Blessinger is under it. Yamato to Ungo, it's blocked back down towards her. Marfatia now, Goodpaster pushes it over. Fellers for Spittler, who we haven't talked a whole lot about tonight. She'll get credit for an assist, and Emery Spittler, she's a sophomore from Lebanon, Ohio, and she's a player that really orchestrates this offense for the Pioneers. Came into this match tonight with 10 assists per set, 421 on the season, both marks by far the most on her team. As Silva finds a nice spot, it was deflected, but Marietta will get credit for the point. They close this lead down to just 1, and Spartan head coach Karen Farrell will take a timeout. They can close out this first set, but the Pioneers are holding strong. 1-point lead. So 1-point lead now for the Spartans, and Spittler will have the serve. Gets it over, Rhea Marfatia is under it. Now Yamato setting it for Rhea once again, and this one falls. A nice spot, and it really just dipped down exactly where it needed to. A perfect position on that. It makes it a 23-21 lead here in the first set for the Spartans. Lily Crouch is back in. Rhea Marfatia and Chloe Makievsky up top for the Spartans. Couldn't block that one. And a nice play on the outside. Mia Silva is there, and she's back to have the serve. It's been a competitive first set. The Spartans led by as many as 6, 13-7, and this one is just in, maybe even hit that line, made contact with that yellow stripe. And Rhea Marfatia gets it down for a kill. And that'll be number 4 on the day for her. So it's set point for the Spartans. Carly Scott will have the serve, and they can close things out here, trying to get out of this first set. That Marietta has closed the lead multiple times, but hasn't led since the Spartans went on that early run. Here's Spittler going for Fellers, and they'll keep it tight. It remains a 1-point game. And it'll be a whole new set if Marietta can take this next point as well, tie things up at 24. They'll have the serve with Maggie Fellers. Again, the Spartans can close it out. Marfatia's under it. Scott going past Crouch for Callie Wall. So just pop it over. Here's Jillian Fellers. Had a couple nice ones and does a nice job to get it in that back left corner. And here we are at a deuce. 24 all in the first set. This one's off the net and it falls for the Pioneers. Maggie Fellers with a service ace. And that's the 3rd of the day now for the Pioneers. So now it's set point for them. Just moments ago, it looked like the Spartans were about to finish the first set. So Fellers with the serve. Blessinger is under it. And a miscommunication as Marietta and Carly Scott couldn't decide who was going to get under that. So Marietta comes from behind. The Pioneers take the first set by a score of 26-24. And we have a competitive match on our hands here today. We'll switch sides and take a 3-minute break. We'll be back for set number 2 here at Case Western Reserve University. Spartans will start things off. Rhea Marietta will have the serve to begin set number 2. It was the visiting team, the Marietta Pioneers, who took set number 1, 26-24. As the first point will go to the Spartans. Callie Wall is there to block it back down. The Spartans had 6 total team blocks in that first set. 4 assists and a solo from Jennifer Ungo. 3 assists from Chloe Makiewski as well. But on the other side, it was 15 kills for Marietta as part of their come-from-behind effort. And that's a big part of why they were able to close things out on top. Mia Silva and Jillian Fellers each had 6 kills and 12 assists from Emery Spittler, who again we mentioned came into this one averaging about 10 per set. Here's Jillian Fellers on the far side. Goes back to her, and she's been great all day. Has her 7th kill overall and did a beautiful job finding that spot. She had a couple key plays at the end of that first set, including the point to put them on top 25-24 before they finally took it on what looked like really an error by the Spartans. Callie Wall answers, though. She's got herself a kill. And it's the second one of the match for Callie Wall. And this is sort of foreign territory for the Spartans, because if they were to come back and win, it would be the first time this season that they won a match that wasn't 3-0. So far, all of their 11 wins this season, 3 sets to none. Any match they've gone past that, they were defeated. Those were the 4 losses. As Scott can't quite get under this one. Actually, 3 of those losses went into the 4th and 5th set. In Wash U, they were defeated 3 sets to none. That's the lone loss by that margin. Kira Shannon will have the serve. The Spartans are on top. Make it 4-2 after that serve goes into the net. As they'll get a couple subs. Ansley Yamamoto and Chloe Makievsky will re-enter the game. Yamamoto, a senior from Atlanta, Georgia, and Makievsky, a junior from Potomac, Maryland. Yamato's serve. Returned on the other side. Jillian Fellers, Blessinger slides to get under it. Yamamoto will set for Jennifer Ungo. And they're getting it up. And a nice job to get it over. Annabelle Hacker. Now Makievsky, they're going to say that was just out. She thought it was in. She thought it maybe was on the line. And officials didn't agree. There were a couple plays in that first period that the Spartans didn't agree with. A couple that the officials said were deflected. The Spartans didn't really think so. They're going to call for a deflection this time, and they didn't get it. You can see Ansley Yamamoto was signaling with her hand. She thought that they had tipped it. Instead, the Pioneers tied things up. In the last set, the Spartans jumped out to a lead, which they held all the way up until they got to 24. Marietta came back and took things 26-24 at the end of the first set. The Spartans are back on top here, 5-4. They're led by head coach Karen Farrell. In her 22nd season with the team, coming off the most wins in a single season in program history a year ago, and a team that this year they feel has an opportunity to make a splash and get themselves back into the NCAA tournament. It would be the first time since 2015. Coach Farrell's taken his team twice. You can see the banner here in Horsburgh Gymnasium right under the American flag. 2010 and 2015 were those 2 tournament years, as Ungo a little bit too wide with that play, and that went into the bench. The coach Christy Newman had to actually back away from that ball. She's in her 6th season at the helm for the Pioneers. They're coming off a season where they went 19-9 overall, including 6-3 in conference play, and were defeated by number 18 Otterbein to end their season. That was in the semifinals of the OAC tournament. Have yet to play an OAC match this year, but they'll get into those after today. They got Baldwin Wallace on Saturday at 1 p.m. That'll start their conference schedule. Now Maggie Fellers, is that going to be in? They're going to say that went on the line. It went over Jennifer Ungo, who was in the back row that time. And it gives the Pioneers a lead here in the second set, 7-6. This has been an interesting team, a team that if you just look solely at the records, you would say the Spartans look like the clear favorites. Statistically, of course, we mentioned the Spartans nationally ranked in multiple categories. But Marietta has been not too far behind. We're all tied up now, 7-7. As Scott will have the serve back to Fellers, now setting for Maggie Fellers. Blessinger digs it out. Scott to Wall, and she gets it down. Callie Wall continues to have a nice day. And she's got herself her third kill. Setting this time far side for Silva. That one's going to go into the net, and the fourth touch will give the Spartans a point. It was Silva looking for another kill. She's got 6, but none in this second set so far. Diving in a nice play, Lily Crouch. She gets on top of it for the Spartans, again filling in for Amanda Ungo, who's inactive tonight, and so far has done a nice job in the middle there. But again, replacing a very important player, especially on the defensive side of things. And the Spartans will get credit for another point, and we'll have a timeout. Marietta will call it this time. They've fallen behind by 4, but again, they fell behind by 6 in the first set, so we'll see if the Spartans can hold on to the lead this time. 11-7 in set number 2. Carly Scott with the serve. The Spartans on top coming off that Pioneer timeout. They'll go for Maggie Fellers, the tight set, and that'll be good enough to get things started for them. Cutting the lead down to 8, and Maggie Fellers had 2 kills in that first set, and she's got herself another one here in the second. Up to 4 on the day total. Spartans will get their serve back because that one goes too long. 12-8. Again, the Spartans with no Jennifer Ungo on the floor right now, and these are the plays that Marietta has to capitalize on, because when Jennifer Ungo has been on, she's got 6 kills along with 3 total blocks. And there's a nice job, and that's a good example of how to capitalize on it. No Ungo, and then no Chloe Makievsky, who's got 1.5 total blocks herself. And the lead is down to 4. And that'll be a quick possession for the Pioneers, as they'll bring Riley Homan back in, who's the junior libero. But it's the Spartans who will have the serve with their libero, Alyssa Blessinger. And Ungo, there she is, making her presence felt, but still not enough on that one. Again, Ungo, one of those captains on this Spartan team. I talked to Alyssa Blessinger about that earlier this year, about her class and really the class below her have been instrumental in helping the development of this team over the past couple of years. She talked about the culture shift that she feels has occurred during her time here as a Spartan. And talks about the team's hopes going from one of the middle of the pack, you could say, teams in the UAA conference play, and now they feel like they're able to make some noise once they get in that conference tournament later in November. And they showed an example of that this past weekend, taking down NYU, who 2 years ago won the UAA. That tournament was actually here at Case Western Reserve University, and they're going to say this one wasn't tipped, so the Spartans jump out to a 6-point lead now in this set. And Alyssa felt like she, as a captain, just wanted to be part of that continuing culture shift, and there's a nice kill by Jillian Fellers, who leads all players so far in this one. She's got 9 now on the day, had 6 in the first set. She's got 3 now in the second. And the Pioneers are holding on. The largest Spartan lead in the first set was 6 before the Pioneers started to come back. So we'll see if it's a similar story here in the second. That time, Hacker is on top of it, or so it looked like. But the Spartans will get the point. They're going to say she went past the net. And officials having a short conversation with Coach Farrell. Either way, the Spartans will get the point, 17-11. Spittler will go outside for Silva, and it's sent back. Silva once again will have a chance. Ungo and Makievsky, that's been the strong duo today for the Spartans. And this time it'll have to be popped up high. That'll give the Spartans a chance to set up their attack. It's dug out nicely. That was Kira Shannon. This one, it's going to be in. That's on the line. That's a perfect ball placement. And that's the Pioneers, who after a long rally cut the lead down to 5. And they'll bring back Emma Wiseman. Their offense today continues to run through Emery Spittler, who's got 17 assists now. Marfatia, this one sent down, and the Spartans will get it. It went down on the Pioneer side of the net, as they'll bring Hacker back in. Or bring her out, excuse me, and bring Fellers back in. That's Jillian Fellers. They'll set this one tight for Maggie Fellers again. They've gone to that play now twice for kills here in the second set. That first set, it was pretty much all outside to both Jillian and Maggie Fellers, along with Mia Silva. But this time they found some success, so the Spartans maybe will have to make a defensive adjustment, get someone else in the middle over where Maggie Fellers has found a little bit of a gap, and they get that block. As you can see, back-to-back points. 18-14, this is about the time that the Pioneers stormed back in the first set to take it. So the Spartans will have to stay strong. Marfatia, that one's blocked back. Back-to-back blocks. And Marietta's getting some momentum. And we're going to see a timeout from Coach Karen Farrell. Wants to try and slow that pace down for the Pioneers. Makes it an 18-15 game here in the second set. Marietta's already up 1-0, trying to come back for the second set in a row. So Marietta has scored the last 3, and the Spartans looking to regroup after that timeout. to say, was that one deflected? Because Marietta is going to make that 4 in a row now. 18-16 is the score, and we'll have a whistle blowing this play dead. So we'll start again. Spittler with the serve, and barely kept up by a couple sliding Spartans. Yamamoto got it over. Now Spittler goes tight once again. This time it's tipped up. That was that tight set we were just talking about. It was Lily Crouch who got in the middle and blocked Maggie Fellers from it. Now it's going to go out, and the Spartans needed that one. 19-16. They're trying to get their first set of the night. 1-0 is the score. Marietta is on top. After a really close first set, 26-24 was the final. They were down for the majority of the time and came back at the end. And we're starting to see a similar story develop here in set number 2, but the Spartans are in the driver's seat up 3 still. Blocked back by Crouch and Marfatia. Now Wall tries to punch it up, and this one's going to go into the Spartan net. Lily Crouch couldn't quite get to it. So the lead is cut down to 2, and we're going to have a towel. Carly Scott is going to wipe down that spot on the floor. And she looked like she slipped trying to find the spot, so that's a good indication that we need to wipe it down. So Mia Silva will have the serve for the Pioneers. Down 2 still. Scott will set far side. Wall. Silva's underneath it. It's a fight at the net. Maggie Fellers pops it up. Marfatia tries to put it down. Silva's underneath it. Almost into the stands there. Homan keeps it alive. Lily Crouch. Now Scott. Wall. Block back. Fellers is there. Diving Marfatia. Scott will have to send it over. Homan once again. Spittler. Fellers gets it down. Jillian Fellers, 10 kills on the day. And she's got the Pioneers within 1. Fellers, a player that averages the most kills per set on the team. She's well over 3. And so far today, averaging 5. And this one goes off the arms of Mia Silva. And the Spartans push the lead back up to 2. Although it feels like Marietta is really the one with most of the momentum here in this second set. It's still the Spartans on top. And Coach Newman's going to want an explanation for that one because they whistled it. They're going to say she was out of rotation. And she's pleading her case with the official. They're on the far side and is not going to get anything. The Spartans are now on top by 3. Scott will pop it over. Fellers now going outside. Jillian Fellers, she jumps it over. A nice job by her. And another beautiful offensive play. And she's been nearly unstoppable tonight. But the Spartans still holding on to a 2-point lead, but feels like the air is starting to get sucked out of this gym right now. Crouch, it's tipped. She'll get a kill for herself. And Lily Crouch with her 3rd kill of the night. Gets the Spartans closer and extends their lead up to 3. Now it's Blessinger. This one's put down by Callie Wall at the net. There was no one there on the other side, and she did a nice job to recognize that. A timeout's going to be called by Coach Newman. The Pioneers have fallen behind by 4 after getting this lead down to as little as 1. They haven't led in this second set after falling behind 16-10, but they came back in the first. Let's see if they can do it again. Alyssa Blessinger has the serve. The Spartans on top by 4 in the second set, but Marietta leads overall 1-0. And Blessinger trying to close things out. They need 2 more to do it. 23-19 is the score. Fellers is under the serve. It'll go back in her direction. She'll pop it over Carly Scott. Now Blessinger, she'll have to set it for Callie Wall, who's on top of a couple nice plays in the last few. Here's Hacker. That's too long, and it'll be set point for the Spartans. They got a set point last time, and the Pioneers were able to come back, but it was a little bit of a closer game at that point. This time it's a 5-point lead, so Marietta will need quite the comeback. They came back nearly from down 6 here in the second set. They did come back from down 6 in the first. Jennifer Ungo pops it over, but they're going to say she passed the net. She went over to the top of it and went a little bit too far, and it looked like the Spartans closed out the set for a moment, but instead it's Marietta who will get credit for that. 24-20. So the serve comes over. Scott to Ungo. It's blocked back down, and Marietta's got the last 2 off of set point for the Spartans. And in the second set, they've done a much better job nullifying Jennifer Ungo, especially on the offensive end. She had 5 kills in the first set and has just 2 in the second as Wall sends it over. Here's Fellers. She'll pop it over that wall of Callie Wall and Jennifer Ungo, and Callie Wall is too strong, and Marietta's found some rhythm here. They're down 2. Karen Farrell is going to ask for another timeout. It's still set point for the Spartans, but the Pioneers are not going anywhere. 2-point lead, trying to close out set number 2. Marietta trying to come back. It was 24-19. It's 24-22 now. And the serve from Kira Shannon gets over. Now good pass to her, pushes it back. Here's Shannon. Spittler setting for Fellers. And Ungo blocks it. And that's how the second set will end. Jennifer Ungo gives the Spartans their first of the night. And that'll make it 1-1. We've got a good one. 25-22 is the score in the second set. And we'll switch sides back to basically 0-0. Again, the Spartans have not won a match so far this season that has gone into more than 3 sets. And they'll try to be doing just that tonight. We'll have a short break. Set number 3 coming up here in Cleveland. Case Western Reserve University taking on Marietta College. And number 7, Kira Shannon, has moved over to the libero spot. She's got a blue jersey on for the Pioneers. And there's the libero for the Spartans, Alyssa Blessinger, keeping it up and alive. And that'll be a point for Marietta to open things up. Each of the first 2 sets, they've trailed by as many as 6. They won the first one, lost the second one. Were unable to come back despite putting up a tough effort. They were down just 20-19. The Spartans made it 24-19. And then Marietta made it closer, 24-22, but were unable to close things out, and the Spartans got there for a set. Got a couple of wipe down spots here on the floor. The towels are out, and Alyssa Blessinger is taking care of it right now on the Spartan side. And they're ready for play, so it's Maggie Fellers who will have the serve. Blessinger is underneath it. Scott now setting behind her. Marfatia, nice job. Rhea Marfatia with her 6th kill of the day. And for Rhea, 4 of those coming in the first set, 2 in the second. If you look at this match statistically so far, you would think the Spartans won the first set and that the Pioneers won the second set. Things were really flipped on both sides as Callie Wall gets herself another kill. She's having a nice game, 6 kills for her. But the Spartans that first set had 6 total blocks, along with 12 total kills as a team. But in the second set, just 2 blocks total and 9 kills. Their assists in the first set, 11. In the second set, just 6. And for Marietta, things are flipped for the most part as well. 2 blocks in the first set and 3 in the second. Not a significant difference. Kill numbers were about the same for the Pioneers as this one falls. A nice play for the Spartans, who have now jumped out to a 4-1 lead to get things started. Marietta wants to play from ahead because they really haven't done that so far today. The first set, it was a 13-7 deficit that they erased. And the second set was a 16-10 deficit that they nearly erased. That one was tipped by Callie Wall at the net. Scott pops this up for good passer. It's blocked back down. Annabelle Hacker was there. Hacker's got herself 2 total blocks today. And we went from 4-1 to 4-3 suddenly. Whistle. It looks like we're having an issue with the ball. Trying to see which one is officially a game ball. There may have been another ball off from the side mixed in. Officials are checking things out here. They'll bring it over to the scorer's table. And it looks like we're good to go because the ball in the hands of Riley Homan was up to standard. So she'll send this off to the other side. Nearly got a service ace, but it's kept alive. Blessinger finally sent it over. Now Jillian Fellers. Good passer is on it, and that's going to be a little bit too strong by Carly Scott, who was trying to push it over to that back corner. And the right idea maybe, but a little bit too much on it. Going down once again for Jillian Fellers. This time it's in for the Pioneers. A nice job, and they took a lead early in the second set. They've done it again here in the third. It's a 1-point lead. Again, they want to play from ahead. They really have not done that because they've been so good in the middle to late stages of these first two sets. If they can play from ahead, as Callie Wall gets herself another kill, but if Marietta can play from ahead, they'll certainly be putting themselves in a good position to come out of here today with a victory. Yeah, to play just one true road game so far this season. And it was a loss against number 16 Transylvania down in Lexington, Kentucky a few weeks ago, as this one will fall on the Pioneers side. Drop down, and Fellers dives to get underneath it. Marfatia now for Scott, and she'll push it over in the back row. It's Shannon, gets it up now. Scott tight, Ungo. Homan is underneath it. Now Hacker will try to push it over. We got a long rally here. That good passer will try to end, and she will. And the first year gets herself a nice kill, and one that the Spartans needed. That's her second of the match. And Emily Goodpaster, player averaging under 1 kill per set, but has been inserted into the starting lineup for the majority of the season so far. Now including today, has played in 34 sets and has 18 kills. And just her first year here at the collegiate level. It's an 8-5 lead now for the Spartans, with Blessinger to serve. Homan is under it. Spittler, Hacker, it's tipped up at the net and kept alive by Scott. A couple Pioneers diving for it. Now the Spartans will make it a 4-point game. 1 set apiece. And we're gonna have to bring out that towel again. This time it's Maggie Fellers who's got it. Blessinger keeps her serve. Maggie Fellers is under it. And now sent on the far side to Jillian, near side rather. Scott will try to dump it over once again into that back row. And it was a good enough spot. Shannon couldn't get the pass that she wanted to her teammate. And we'll have a timeout as the Spartans have doubled up on the Pioneers. 10-5 here in the third set of play. Blessinger to serve, 10-5 for the Spartans. And they're on a nice run here, as this one is blocked back down, and that'll continue it. Jennifer Ungo And a real celebration from the Spartans side, and Callie Wall was there as well. That's now 6 straight for the Spartans. It was 5-5 at one point. And we've got an 11-5 score here in the third set. Spittler will try to get it to Jillian Feller. She'll have to push this one high. You could see her redirect that one. And on the other side, it's blocked back down. Hacker. As Mia Silva will come back into this one. And Silva's been quiet. She had 6 kills in the first set, none in the second, and a service ace. A nice spot from Jillian Fellers to get it down. And now 2 straight for the Pioneers after that run for the Spartans was ended. And Jillian Fellers, who leads all players today with 12 kills, with the service ace moments ago, and trying to win another point for the Pioneers, but it'll fall on their side. A couple players active at the net. Ungo, Scott, and Goodpaster were all on top of it there. Now Ainsley Yamato is in, and she'll have the serve. Go back row. Homan, now Spittler, she was trying to dump it, it looked like, but sort of lost the hand positioning she wanted. It was her left hand that was stuck on the ball a little bit too long, and it just fell down towards her. So Yamato keeps her serve. Spittler this time will go outside to Hacker, and Annabelle Hacker has been very active in the last couple sets. And that's her 3rd kill of the night now. And it's gonna be another assist for Emery Spittler. She's got 24 now on the night. In here just the 3rd set. Goodpaster pops this one over. And they're gonna say it was out past that line. It remains a 4-point lead for the Spartans. The serve back, Marfatia's under it now, tight for Ungo. She can nearly get it to drop. Silva keeps it alive. Fellers pops it over. Blessinger will go outside. Goodpaster over the first 2. Now Spittler will come to this side. To Silva. It's blocked back. Silva will go for it one more time. This time goes across the court. And the Spartans keep it alive. Marfatia, it looked like she was going to go strong for a second, then pulled away. Goodpaster pops it over. Fellers is under it. Silva, back line, and can she get the line? And it's going to be out. The flag is up. A long rally that ends in a Spartan point. 14-9 is now the score. After falling in the first set, the Spartans took the second, and now they have a 5-point lead here. We've seen this each of the first 2 sets. They'll jump out to a lead about here, middle of the set in terms of points. And both times Marietta has started to storm back. First set, they were able to come from behind and take it. Second set, they just fell short. Got it to as close as 20-19. This one is tipped over, and Maggie Fellers did a nice job. It looked like it tipped off a couple fingers in white jerseys there. And Marietta will close the lead down to 4. It was 20-19 in the second set, then 24-19 for the Spartans. Marietta stormed back 24-22, but the Spartans were able to close things out there. Now Maggie Fellers going into the back line. Alyssa Blessinger, it's off of her hands. And Marietta's got 2 straight. Again, trying to close this lead. Trying to get back to 500 on the season. Came into this one 5-6. It's kept alive by Jennifer Ungo. Ungo may have gotten over top of the net that time. Coach Christy Newman wanted that call, and she's not going to get it. Actually going to say Mia Silva made contact with the net is what looked like the call was. Carly Scott again wiping down the floor. She's a junior from Cincinnati. She's got 9 assists on the day. That's where she makes her money. Marfatia tried to punch at that ball. It was a little bit too far away from her. And it goes out for another Marietta point, 15-12. Marietta still playing from behind like they have the majority of the night. Silva, good pass to hers under it. Yamato for Lily Crouch, who's back in the game. Now for Jillian Fellers. Blessinger, and now Yamato dumps it over. Still in play, Silva for Fellers. Yamato now for Marfatia. This time it's down. Rhea Marfatia finding the spot. She leads this Spartan team now with 9 kills on the day. Carly Scott to serve. Mia Silva, who's back in a lot of action here in the third set. We mentioned she had no kills in the second after 6 in the first, but she's got 3 here. Has been more involved in the offensive side of things. She's also got 1 total block on the night to go along with it. Shannon now Spittler trying to keep it alive and try to pop it up, but it'll be a Spartan point. But Emery Spittler has also had herself a nice night. Still with 24 assists on the day. Averaging 8% so far, but we're just about halfway through this third. And a miscommunication on the Pioneer side. Ella Boyer and Mia Silva couldn't decide who was going for that ball. And it looks like we'll have a timeout coming from the visitors. 19-12, it's the largest Spartan lead at any point in this one. It's 7. And the Spartans looking to take their second set of the night. Carly Scott will keep the serve with the Spartans up 7. And they've won the last couple points now, extending this lead. Again, it's the largest lead of the night at any point. It's a 1-1 match overall. The Pioneers took the first set, the Spartans took the second, and another miscommunication. That's 2 plays in a row now for the Pioneers. And the Spartans push the lead to 8, getting closer to finishing out this second set. Their second set it would be. Scott serve this time. It's well strong and past that back line. So the Pioneers with a chance to regroup, they'll get it back coming out of that timeout. Maggie Fellers will have the serve, and it's off the hands of Rhea Marfatia. It's another service ace. And it sure feels like we've had a lot of those tonight. We've got 6 from either team now. Fellers will keep it. Marfatia, this time she's under it cleanly. Scott goes outside for a wall, and Marietta is going to get the whistle in their favor. A double touch called against the Spartans. So they're closing things down. The lead was 8, 20-12, and now it's 20-15. Marfatia diving, Spittler's under it. Nice job to dig that out. Boyer, and it's blocked back down. Callie Wall and Lily Crouch. You know, we talked about when Ungo and Makievsky are not on the floor, who's going to make plays on that side of things for the Spartans. And that was a good example of it. Wall and Crouch did a nice job with the block for the Spartans. Again, a team that's very good in that category. 4th, or rather 13th in blocks per set nationally. And Emory hoping they can storm back again. They fell just short in the second set. Were able to complete the comeback in the first set. And they're down 5 here, 21-16. And Riley Homan will have the serve. Junior from Copley, Ohio. Started out as a libero and has switched back into the regular rotation, and that's just out of the reach of the now libero, Kira Shannon. So it's a 6-point lead now for the Spartans. They led by 5 at the end of that second set. Marietta nearly came back and fell just short, and they're gonna have a larger hill to climb here as the lead is up to 7 now off the service ace. That's the 7th of the day for the Spartans. It's a 23-16 lead. Blessinger. Fellers is under it now. Jillian Fellers. Jennifer Ungo blocks it. Did that stay in? That's a perfect spot. And she couldn't have calculated that. Not sure if she did or not, but that was exactly where it needed to fall. So Marietta will get the point, but it's set point for the Spartans, 24-17. Fellers with the serve. Scott, this time she'll go to Wall, and Wall puts it down. A nice job for the Spartans. They've got the last 2 sets, and they have a chance to finish things out in 4 as they'll take this one 25-17. We could be in for the last set of the night, but we've had a really good matchup today between the Spartans and the Pioneers. Spartans up 2-1. Stay tuned for set number 4. So the Spartans have taken the last 2 sets after falling in the first one 26-24. They won the last two 25-22 and then 25-17. They got back to some of their form in the statistical categories that they've excelled at all year. They had 4 team blocks in that third set, along with 12 kills as a team. And they'll start this one with a nice block by Lily Crouch, who came in and had a couple nice plays at the end of that third set. And again, has been a very important player today. And again, in a game that they don't have Amanda Ungo, and Lily Crouch has 3 total blocks, so that's huge. Here's Callie Wall. She's got herself up to 8 kills after a good set in the third. Lily Crouch with another block. That's how we start this set, 2 straight blocks. She's a junior from Chagrin Falls, just outside of Cleveland. That's where we are here at Case Western Reserve University here in the Veal Center. Horsburgh Gymnasium, where this volleyball team is hoping to come out on top for the 6th time this season. They're 5-1 on the year. Their only loss coming this past weekend against one of the top teams in the country, Wash U. Callie Wall, that one was tipped and it's returned by Shannon. This one's off of Scott and it's gonna go well behind. So Marietta's on the board 2-1 to start things off. And Lily Crouch now, after those first 2 plays, with 4 total blocks on the day. They've also got 4 from Callie Wall and then 4.5 from Jennifer Ungo. Taking a look at the court, and it looks like we're good to go. Mia Silva returned to her form in that third set as well. She had 6 kills in the first period, none in the second, and then 3 in the third. And that time on the serve a little bit too strong, so it'll be back up to a 2-point lead for the Spartans. The Spartans again have a chance to close things out here in the 4th set, and it would be the first time this season that they won a match that wasn't 3 sets to none. 11 wins this season, all 3 sets to none. The closest they got, they had a match just a couple games ago where they were taking on Calvin and lost that one 3-2 after being up 2 sets to none to start things off. That's a Calvin team, one of the best in the country, number 7 in the newest rankings that came out earlier today, or yesterday actually. And featured again the other losses to number 13 Wash U and number 25 Ohio Northern, and then Mount Union team that's receiving votes. Again, the Spartans received votes for the first time this season, as Fellers will send this one over. And Jennifer Ungo does a nice job to get it down, as Ansley Yamamoto will come back into the game. She's been an important part of this offense. She leads this team with 15 assists so far. They've also got 10 from Carly Scott. But it's Yamamoto with the serve. Back to Shannon. Now it's popped up. Spittler looking for Fellers, and Ungo and Carly Scott are there. Now here's Boyer, who will push it over. Ungo and Makievsky on the floor together have been great tonight, and there's Ungo getting herself another kill. And that's back-to-back. So it's 10 kills on the night for Jennifer Ungo. That's the most for the Spartans. Hacker in the middle, Ungo fighting for it as well. Scott tries to put it down, it's kept alive. Spittler, near side, Fellers. And Jillian Fellers does a nice job. She's got 14 kills on the night. Again, we mentioned her early on, came into this one leading the team with the most kills per set and the most kills overall. Makievsky's ball is returned by Fellers. Now Scott, and this one's going to be too strong. Can't keep it in on that line. So it's a 3-point lead now for the Spartans still. They've played on top for the majority of that third set, and they remain in front here. A last-minute adjustment by Alyssa Blessinger, but that ball's going to go into the net from Scott. Coach Farrell with some instructions for her team. Winning this set would end things tonight for the Spartans. Marfatia, then Scott in the middle to Ungo. And this one is blocked back down. Talk about the block numbers for the Spartans, but we've seen a good display on the other side as well. Annabelle Hacker's got 2.5 blocks on the day. Also 3 from Maggie Fellers. Make that 3 for Hacker after that last play as well. And there's another block for the Spartans. Ungo and Scott were there. Goodpaster will have the serve. The lead is 2 for the Spartans, 7-5. Fellers, Ungo, a nice job to bring it back down, but it's kept alive. This time she'll have a high arcing ball. Ungo on the tight set, and it's blocked down. Hacker is there once again, along with Jillian Fellers. And this set continues to remain competitive. So Marietta, despite falling behind now for the first time in terms of overall sets, not going anywhere. And they've proven themselves to be a tough, competitive team, despite coming into this one just 5-6 compared to the 11-4 Spartans. And this is a Spartan team that had a huge win this weekend over number 10 NYU, now number 11. And Marietta's proving that they can play with this team. And they're again trying to get back up to 500. They came off a 5-game losing streak, then won their last 2. Both these teams now on 2-game winning streaks. One of those will come to an end tonight. Scott punches it over. And a nice job, a nice touch. Spartan lead is back up to 2. It's 9-7. And we've had a close game throughout. Really the largest lead for the Spartans at any point has been 8. And they won the last set by 8, 25-17. But it really felt like it was much closer throughout. Spittler will set for Silva. Marfatia is going to push it back the other way, but it'll be outside of the boundary. Substitution, Ella Boyer will check back in, the junior from Bay Village, Ohio, on the west side of Cleveland here. Blessinger for Wall, and she finds a nice spot that time. Callie Wall with her 10th kill of the day. Came into this one averaging just under 2.5 kills per set. And is on pace to improve that number here tonight. As Marfatia's serve. Returned, Silva. And that one's gonna be too long. It was close, but it's gonna go out. The Spartans staying on top. Again, a team that has NCAA tournament hopes in the grand scheme of things. Silva will go far side. Blessinger is under it. Scott tries to dump it into that back corner, and Shannon a diving attempt to keep it alive. Marfatia can't do the same on the other side. It was close, but it's going to be a point for the Pioneers. And they've closed things out a little bit here. They're down by just 2 here in the 4th set. The serve from Elena Ricker, a junior from Columbus Grove, Ohio. Fellers pops it over Crouch. Now returned by Maggie Fellers on the other side. And 14 and 15 for Marietta have had some great nights, and they've been great all season, really. Maggie Fellers came into this one with 3.1 kills per set and a .316 hitting percentage, which is another number we haven't gotten a chance to really talk about. She's below that tonight, but again, this is a great Spartan team defensively, but a team that needs to play a little bit more defense right now as things have been tied up 11-11 here in the 4th set. The Spartans can close things out with a win here, but Marietta would like to come from behind. It's 2-1, Spartans on top still. Elena Ricker will have the serve for Marietta. It's an 11-all set number 4 here. Blessinger's under it. Scott now Crouch, and it's pushed back down. Fellers, both of them, are all over that. And Marietta leads now for the first time in a while here. 12-11. As the serve goes back into the net. And that'll end the possession quickly. As Jennifer Ungo comes back onto the floor for the Spartans, has been big tonight as she is really every night. 10 kills on the day to go along with 5 total blocks, and mentioned her success in that department. Tonight moved into 6th all-time in the total blocks number for Case Western Reserve University Volleyball, and they're going to say that point goes to Marietta actually. For a moment it looked like it was going to be in favor of the Spartans. And Alyssa Blessinger urging her team to just move on and play the next play, as Marietta has once again retaken the lead. Makievsky is underneath that. She'll go to the back line and gets that ball in a nice spot. Yamato will have the serve off of that nice play by Chloe Makievsky, and it'll be a service ace. It's pushed out. And that is the 8th service ace for the Spartans so far today. And Yamato, with her first, it's been a committee of Spartans who have gotten those numbers. The 3 from Ria Marfatia leads them. Makievsky once again, a nice spot, and she's having a nice set here. Makievsky with 2 kills now in the 4th set. Spittler will go to Fellers. That'll give them some momentum again. And Emery Spittler with her 31st assist of the match. And that'll give Marietta the serve back. And you can see Coach Newman screaming some instructions. A lot of communication still from that Marietta side. The serve comes off. from Homan. Now Ungo pushes it up. Spittler trying to get it there. A couple Spartans in that wall. Ungo pushes it over with 2 hands. Now Hacker has it. It's tipped. Yamato Scott tries to dump it. Yamato gets her hand on it. Makayevsky now in the back line. It's kept alive by Fellers. Now Jillian Fellers. This might be too far wide, and it's going to be out past the left side line for her. It remains close, but the Spartans still on top as Emily Goodpaster will head back into the game. Goodpaster will have the serve, and Maggie Fellers is under it. Now Jillian Fellers, and she'll get herself a nice kill. Closes this lead down to just 1 for the Spartans, and the Pioneers will have their serve back, and Jillian will be the one to go take it. Jillian Fellers now with 15 kills on the night. Ungo goes back line. Spittler will set for Silva. Ungo blocks it. Carly Scott was there as well, and it'll go out. The play the Spartans needed. They've played from on top the majority of this set, but again, Marietta has shown that they're able to come back from behind. They did it in the first set, nearly did it in the second. The third set, the Spartans took control and kept it that way, and that's what they'll have to do here once again. This has been a tough Pioneer team to get by as Yamato pops it up. Ungo now for Scott, 2 hands over, and Shannon is underneath it. Silva, she'll try to just push it over with her right hand, and it'll go straight into the net. So the Spartans' lead is up to 3. It's the largest lead they've had in a while. And Jennifer Ungo will have the serve, but not before a Pioneer timeout. Marietta trying to stay alive. Spartans on top 2-1, and they lead 18-15 in the 4th. Jennifer Ungo with the serve, trying to close things out on the night for the Spartans, trying to extend their winning streak to 3. Yamato with the set for Marfatia, and it's bouncing up high. It's still alive. Now Fellers over the jumping Lily Crouch. Now they'll set it tight to her. Back to Homan, and now Silva on the other side. Another long rally here, and this one may have been tipped at the net. It wasn't. So it'll go out, and the Spartans will get credit for that. Lily Crouch was close to it, and it looked like didn't get a finger on it. So the Spartans' lead is up to 4, make it 3 off that serve. That was a little bit too strong. So Alyssa Blessinger will come back in the game for them. Substitutions on the other side as well. And Emma Wiseman, the first year from Monroe, Ohio, is back on, and she'll have the serve with a Marietta team that needs to not only come from behind in this set, but then they'll have to take set number 5 if they were to win tonight, and Marfatia can't field it cleanly. So another service ace for the Pioneers. We've seen, again, a lot of those tonight. 8 for the Spartans, now 7 for the Pioneers. And it's the first one for Wiseman on the day. Yamato for Crouch, and she'll get herself another kill. We talked about how well she did in the last set, and she continues to be playing strong with now 5 kills on the day, along with 4 total blocks. And a great performance from her. As the serve goes into the net. Again, Crouch seeing the expanded role tonight with the absence of Amanda Ungo, and she has delivered, done exactly what she's needed to do so far. But right now it's the Pioneers with the serve with Emery Spittler. The Spartans will go to the bottom of your screen with Marietta, and her ball is going to go into the net. So a couple errors from her the last couple plays, very uncharacteristic, and Coach Karen Farrell will take a timeout as the Pioneers have closed the lead down to just one. The Spartans can close things out, but Marietta is still storming back. So Emery Spittler keeps her serve, trying to keep the Pioneers alive. Carly Scott and Callie Wall have other ideas, and they'll extend the Spartan lead back up to 2 coming out of that timeout, as Chloe Makievsky will re-enter the game. Good pastors off. And Ria Marfatia will have the serve. It's just barely kept alive by the Pioneers. Boyer pushes it over. Now Scott will serve for Wall. Tight, and it's blocked back down. Silva and Maggie Fellers are on top of it. That'll be another block for the Pioneers. As Wall this time on the near side goes strong. It's kept alive. This one in. It just barely is. And Marietta has tied things up. The block and then a beautiful kill. We've got a 21-all match here in the 4th set. It's been intense all day, and it continues to be that way. This time Makievsky wide, and the Pioneers have come from behind to take the lead. They've been trailing for the majority of this set, but it's been close, closer than the last couple. They were down by as many as 4, 19 to 15 was the largest lead for the Spartans, but they've tied things up once again at 22, and you can feel their energy. 3 more points for them, and they'll end this match here tonight. They're trying to take it in 4. It would be the first time this season that they win a match that doesn't end 3-0. Fellers, near side. Scott, a miscommunication, but Blessinger manages to get under it. Fellers, that's Maggie, now Jillian. She'll go for the kill. It was tipped and she'll get it. The Pioneers once again on top. They'd have to win this set and the 5th to take things tonight. They won the 1st and then fell in the last 2. Makievsky. Scott, Wall, she puts it down. Callie Wall having a night. 11 kills for the sophomore from Mason, Ohio. And we'll get some substitutions going. Callie Wall will take a seat for the moment as Anthony Yamamoto will re-enter the game. It's 23-all. And she'll try to push the Spartans over the edge. Yamamoto. It's taken by Fellers. Now Maggie Fellers. Yamamoto, 2 hands, stops that. Makievsky gets it over. Maggie Fellers. Spittler. Jillian. It's blocked and it's kept alive for the moment. Makievsky pushes it over. A beautiful play by the Spartans. And a dump attempt. Blessinger dives to get under it. Another dig for her. Makievsky pushes it over. Now Jillian Fellers. It's blocked at the net, and the Spartans are going to get it. Jennifer Ungo was there once again, and she's been all over it defensively tonight. Ungo with 5.5 total blocks and a timeout. Set point for the Spartans, and it's match point, 24-23. They can end things in one more. Set point, match point. Ansley Yamada with the serve. The Spartans can end things here. She'll send it over. Shannon is underneath it. Ungo ended the set last time. Callie Wall has also got one. Here's Ungo with an attempt, and she'll finish things off. Jennifer Ungo, 14 kills on the night. A great game for her. And she's led the Spartans to a victory. Marietta will fall to 5-7. The Spartans with their 12th win of the season. 12-4 is their record, and a quick look ahead before we sign off. Mentioned earlier that Marietta will head into conference play. They'll take on Baldwin Wallace on Saturday before taking on Muskingum a week from today. Both of those matches will be at home, and the Spartans, we'll see you back here very soon. First this Saturday, they'll take a trip down to Tiffin, Ohio, take on Muskingum and Heidelberg. And then a week from today, at 7 p.m., they'll take on Oberlin right here at Horsburgh Gymnasium, here on the campus of Case Western Reserve University. Thank you, as always, everyone, for tuning in tonight for this broadcast between the Spartans and the Marietta Pioneers. And the Spartans will take it 3-1, the first time all year they've won in 4. I'm Sarzucci, and for everyone here at Case Western Reserve University, thank you and have a great rest of your evening.